You know what we make on ACL? About $25.
We're going to keep on talking about this.
Actually, I know it's Lakeisha, but I call her just what everybody else calls her.
It goes to the pot. See, that comes out to be $100.
Well, I know it is because I read it every day. It says Lakeisha. But when I came here, everybody was calling her teacher. So I just assumed.
Sorry, $150. Compared to $500.
No, it's more than that. No,
really.
Ours is more than that.
What do you
We're
prefer?
only $7,000 a
Do
case.
you prefer Keisha?
Right.
You're 7,500.
I prefer Keisha. You call me that?
Divided by 16.
I'm just saying.
$500 a case.
Merry Christmas. Okay, so they're going to start, but if you guys want to stand there and give anything that you want everybody to know, you're live right now. It's on. It's filming.
You got a lot of crap over here. So we're just doing knees today, right? It's too much to do hip.
Yeah, we'll do hips later. We're going to do hips later.
Okay.
We're not going to bother you guys. Where's the
Right here.
What's
Here I am.
Come on, what are you doing? She's off today.
Where's
She works at the ropes on Tuesdays.
Allison?
Yep, in a room.
She's scrubbed in.
In a room.
Who's
That'll be done in a second.
Who's with me this morning on my hip?
Amanda?
Amanda.
Ashley. Amanda?
Mandy gets off at 3.
Okay.
She'll have to
Well,
watch
we
the
appreciate you
video.
guys coming. Thank you.
Sorry.
The reason we're doing this is not because we're prima donnas, okay? It's because we just want to have more than one person be able to do a knee, more than one person do a hip, because the total joints, as you know, that's what keeps you guys here.
Working behind the wall.
Working.
This is a job. We just talked about
Raises, insurance. We're trying to like maximize. When we go to the new place, that's going to coincide with more insurance, maybe Medicare coming on board. And if we really maximize that, we're all happy. Okay, so it's just about getting the flow down. Keisha's going to talk about the importance of the flow, anticipating, having instrument ready, and all that kind of stuff. And I know it's just a lot of reps. We know. And I know we're all a little bit different. Knees, we're pretty similar. A couple little differences with navigation or with tibia first versus femur first. But those are, I think, knees have a lot of steps. So the difficulty with knees isn't that there's a big difference between us, is that, man, knees have a lot of steps. Okay, so if you do RN on like a knee scope, you're going to be handling like 3 things to craft. Okay, you got a scalpel, a probe, a grabber, and a suture. Okay, but a knee, I mean, look at all that. Okay, and each of those instruments gets handed. So there's like 40 steps in a knee. So that's what makes it hard. So, and we know that. And we support you guys. We just want you guys to feel comfortable with it, know that we're backing you up, and try to help you out a little bit.
Top 3 tidbits that you want to give? Anything for your cases? Your technique?
Oh, it's hard to comment on perfection, but.
Can you step behind the camera and say
It's all about a consistent pace. Okay, pace is really important. Starts and stops are hard, because if I have to like stop looking at the knee and turn to do that, then I have to restart. Everything starts over again. And the restart adds up to another 15, 20 minutes on a case. So pace is important, right? Flow is what I mean.
Yeah. Anticipation.
Anticipation on the part of our tech working the back table is really important. And it's not about hurrying. It's not about being fast, because that's just when mistakes are made. It's just about eliminating that time between moves. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No one was coming next.
Yeah, it's just eliminating the time between moves. So on knees, it's just about the steps. On hips it is too. Hips have fewer steps, and anterior. I know I'm making it hard for you guys doing anterior, and we'll talk about that next time on the hips, because the handed table is part of that when I use the handed table. But anyway, we're not here to. We just want to support you guys. That's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's anticipation.
Yeah.
Too, and also workflow. It's like everybody, we can't be compartmentalized around here. It's like, even though.
Yeah, we want all you guys, if you want to be passing instruments on the back table, we want you guys to be able to be back there doing it, because that'll make you guys happy. It allows a little bit of division of labor so you guys aren't bored all the time. I mean, you agree with that?
And if you're not doing a case, and you're hanging out somewhere, kind of in between, patrol and look to see if anybody needs help. If you're up here There's nobody here to prep the leg. We'll prep the leg up here, hold the leg back there, or whatever. I mean, everybody's got to, multitask. That's that's the one thing this place is like. That's why things go so much fast. Yeah, don't worry, we're gonna take care of that. We'll take care of it. So that's what we got to do,
I agree 100%.
And so even the recovery nurses and the pre-op nurses, and the essays, and all of you guys, everybody's got it. We all have to multitask. We have to do their job, you got to do their job. So if anybody needs help, everybody's got to be helping people out. And that's why it's hard for me, because I've done cases, I've done a lot of cases at MAE, I never paid attention to it. And going back over there and talking to other partners, that was the difference between this place and that place. It was just that. And that's what we have to do.
Working together is a big.
Working together, exactly. And helping everybody out when people need help. So. And then also too, back here, it's on the table. It's so nice to be able to have to know, to get what you need when you need it and not have to wait. And it's just a flow and keeping the surgery going. Is anticipation. If your back is turned to the table, you need to know what I'm doing, right? You need to know that I'm doing something, and when you turn around, you need to have what I need when I need it, right? And there are times when we kind of stop and we got to kind of go back and forth a little bit. And you need to know then too, like Keisha, she'll have 3 different instruments there. She'll know that if I go back and forth, she'll know what I need. If I don't need that, then she'll have that, and it's right there.
So
But that's the process of.
And if she doesn't know, she'll give me something that is what we need to use. So yeah, that helps.
Here, take this.
Yeah. Okay.
You need
That
this.
does.
I
guess
know, use this.
I guess I do need a
That does.
monitor right now. You're right. So it's hard because you guys are focused on the back table and what's next, but you also got to be watching the case to see where we are. I mean, it's hard. You guys know it's a hard job. There's no doubt. No doubt about it.
Yeah, see me, I just get confused between Dr. Allman and Pickering and Merlin and Shelton as far as my setup of who used what. That's what I get confused about.
And that just comes
it's
with
called repetition.
Repetition. It just comes with reps. That's why we got to get you guys in there and just let you do it and figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, you gonna take it away and start us off with the steps, Keisha?
I said we'll go over union with everybody since we got the one to line.
All right.
We can do Pickering since we got the one to line now.
Okay.
So I'm putting it close to her.
Yeah, and we can do that. We can presentations and things.
That and you got a GoPro on my.
I got one of my shirts. Where?
It's not necessarily, you can put a light inside it. You can put a camera inside the light.
Yeah.
During surgery. It costs a lot more. But you can hear, look at this. You send it, you can take it.
I can show it on my phone. I can pause it if you get hungry.
But it's, I mean,
Delete that part.
All right, so Keisha, you gonna talk us through steps, or
Corey's gonna talk us through it, I'm gonna
Corey's
show
gonna talk
you.
us through? Okay. Take it away, Corey.
Thank you, Keisha.
Just start with a little.
All right.
Just start with the mail.
I'm admitting nothing.
All right, so basically on your front Mayo, you're gonna have a large mallet. This is Pickering setup. Large mallet, big runger, small runger, 2 skin rakes. We usually have a curved knee up here. It's missing off this set. Lateral retractor. Yeah, yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Small cob elevator. Couple cokers, 2 tonsils. Ruler, Freer, dental picks, which is a ball, and there's a sharp. He'll use these at the end for his cement. Bonnies, and some Adsons. Okay.
So you can talk while I put it.
All right, so this is the ortho line. Can you see this one?
So you guys know ortholine is the navigation I use, right? It's just a very simplified pared down version of BrainLab where I don't have to put pins all up and down the leg. And it's just for 2 cuts, so it's super simplified. Just that's all it is. Yeah.
This is the ortho line here. So what we have to do is we have to calibrate it. We put this, the actual computer part on this module here. And there's a sensor that goes on the back. And when you make sure you put the battery in right. If it's in right, it's blinking. There's a yellow light that blinks. And when you cut it on, it pretty much goes through all the steps on the screen for you. So there's a number on this sensor back here that it'll actually ask you if that's the right number. So the number's 4 digits back here most of the time. 3212, and it'll usually beep. There it goes. It's got the sensor that says 3212 on there. You get okay. There yes. And it's just showing you how to put the whole thing together. You proceed. And so calibrated, you start it out on this back. There's 3 different steps. It'll beep, then you go down on this on the front. It'll beep again. On this side, or 4 steps. Beep, and then back on this back at an angle. And it tells you how to put on a distal femoral cutting guide, which we'll show you in a minute. So you'll proceed with that, proceed, and then you select left or right knee, what we're doing. So we'll be doing the left today. So we'll hit L, and he cuts tibia first.
Can we pull the table up?
Yeah.
There we go. There, that's better. Just back up, Keisha.
So we'll be doing the tibia first. He cuts tibia first. And so we'll select tibia. And then we'll proceed to take this off and put it on the tibial cutting guide.
That's pretty cool. So you can do that on the phone. That's awesome. Can you zoom and everything? Wow. That's impressive.
And this is on left, right here. It's on top. On left. So 3 pieces. Slide that on the bottom, and then have a piece that goes in and goes into your part of the tibia. And we want to set that on 0. Okay. And once we get that set, we'll put the computer on the front of it. Slide it up to the front. Okay. And this black sensor here, it goes on the opposite side this is pointing to. So he'll be working on this side. So put it on the opposite side so it's not in his way. Okay. Then the strap, you'll strap it on the medial side of the leg and pass him the other side. Okay. And he'll strap it to the tibia. And then he'll put in his ACL point. Oh yeah. And this right here, this little point goes down the ACL point. And he'll put 2 threaded head of pins in there, and then go through all his calibrations on how to cut it, what he wants his slope, everything like that. We'll take this off and put on the tibial cutting block, which slides in by pushing this button here. So that'll go in there. And when he sees it's pretty close to where he wants it, he'll eyeball it. Then he'll put in a stylus. He'll slide it in the front right here. And it's always set on 2. Okay? He'll take 2 off the low side most of the time. If he wants to change it, he can, but this is how he wants you to hand it to him. Okay? So he'll go up there and he'll set this down. He'll put it to where he wants it, where it's sitting right on top of the plateau. And take a drill bit pin and he'll put one there, and he'll take it out and put one there. So then at this point, we'll remove the 2 threaded headed pins, and then he'll somehow wiggle this off. And this stays on the tibia. Okay. He'll take a large mallet, knock the 2 tibia pins down, coker on one of the tibia pins right here. Then he'll take the big saw blade, make his cut, 3/4 inch curved acetone, pop it up, grab it with another coker, pull it off, and bovie it out. And then he'll cut one more time before he takes the tibial cutting block off. So after he makes that second cut, just go ahead and pass him the drill, the small pin puller. He'll pull that off, and he'll proceed to the femur. Okay. This here is your distal femoral cutting guide. Okay. It can be difficult to put together if you've never done it before. So it's got arrows. So if you follow the arrows and match them up, slide it down till it stops. Then you slide it all the way up towards you, slide the gold over, and it locks that distal femoral cutting guide. Okay? And he'll put one single pin into the distal part of the femur, slide it down, pin it on both sides with threaded headed pins. You'll then proceed to hand his assistant the black sensor, and you'll have this together just like this. Hand him this one, and then put it on the front. Just like that. Yeah. And he'll be sitting on the femur, and he will get the center of the hip up, down, to the side. Yeah. Can you pause that for a second?
I'm sorry?
Can you pause that?
You're good. We'll just edit later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I pushed the wrong button. I got to calibrate it again. So.
Similar.
I mean, you need that like it's on my leg and move my leg around.
Yeah, we need somebody's leg up here. Can I borrow somebody?
That's how I shaved this morning.
Hey, here we go. That one's been prepped out already.
Is that round? What you talking
Yeah, I
about?
think so. Yeah.
Would it help to have a knee?
No, I don't. I mean, unless you need a knee replacement.
I'm not sure. Just for your better.
Yeah, I've already figured it out.
Well, the only reason we're going back through this process is because
Stockville.
we didn't necessarily really cut the tibia, so we couldn't proceed without doing this. So if that's the case, we're just gonna do left and we're gonna do femur. So then it goes to the femur. Okay.
See you later.
Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome.
So this is where you'll be right here. So and then it goes to a read scale. And this is for him. So he'll read it and then he'll set his input. So this will actually be on the patient. On the knee, pin down. He'll read it. And he'll input his numbers, whatever this number is down here, okay? So say it's on 2. And he'll all right, then he'll do the center of the hip rotation. And that was too slow, but that's how you end up doing it. And now without a leg, you can't really find the center of the hip joint. So then after that, we'll take all these off. This is in the patient. He'll take the paddle here, slide it down. It's got numbers on top of how much he wants to take off his distal femur. So you'll set these paddles on your distal femoral condyles, slide it down, and then free this up. His nurse will take 2 pins and adjust it. And if he needs to adjust his various values for flexion and extension, he'll do it with this white knob here. Screwdriver.
On both sides.
Flexion extension, various values. So his assistant will take 2 pins and put them down for the distal femur cut. So when that's done, you just pull this off and that's on the femur. You cut the distal femur. Amen. All right, cut the distal femur. These are going all the way through the total. Okay. Cut the distal femur. Yeah, you're right. So, and you'll cut the distal femur and proceed on with a signal because we have a tune out right now. So
Keisha, are you ready to read that rep?
Do you want?
it needs to be.
I think Keisha
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of this. You want that?
Do you want the
So overall, this the setup for Pickering Uni.
uni? Got it.
Of course, the visualization is a little bit off. You'll have the co-band, you know, your I band, your marking pen, stuff like that on the Mevo. And but this the basic setup for Pickering Uni.
Yeah.
So now we need to go Pickering Uni on the Depute instrument.
You got this?
You talking now?
I'm getting hoarse.
You feel it, love. You got a soft shirt on. You're looking all nice.
You ready?
Hello. All right, how are you?
That was pretty much a rundown how to do ortho line. Okay. ACL point, got the pins in. Should be cutting guide, just want to go through it. Should be a cutting guide, doing left. So he'll pin these. We do this, the stylus here. Get your two off the load. Pin them. We'll take this off. He'll do his reciprocating saw first. Then he'll do sagittal saw. Then a 3/4 inch acetone. Grab it with a coker, just like we went through with the total. Bogey it out, and then cut again with the sagittal saw. And after that, we'll size the tibia. There's some numbers on here, 1 through 6. So he'll reach in. No. So he'll reach in and grab the posterior part of the tibia and size the tibia. Once he finds out, so he wants a 3, okay? So he'll take the smallest 3 they have, is a 3/7. He'll stick it in there and see. He wants to see how tight it is in flexion and extension. If he likes a 7, okay, he likes to go 7. All right, so it's 7 all the way. This is distal femoral cutting guide for the uni. Put that in, and this will go in with the foot in full extension going down to the second toe. He'll pin it, take this out, cut the distal femoral, the distal femur. Then he pins with 2 drill bit pins. Take those out. Small runger. You said meniscus next, or 4 and 1? That's meniscus. Gonna go if he wants a shim? Or no? Do that behind.
Yes.
I did it right? Okay, so say the patient is in extension and he likes a 7. Feels good in extension. He benches up and the 7's just not enough. So he's like, give me an 8 in flexion. So he'll do an 8 in flexion. So he likes it. It's a little thicker in flexion, 1 millimeter thicker. So what we'll do is we'll put a 1 millimeter shim. That's 8. 1 millimeter. Yeah. The 1 millimeter shim on top because it's bigger in flexion. Okay. All right. I think that's right. So no, that'll be the posterior shims for this. What I'm talking about. So with the 1 millimeter shim, I'm sorry, is if he likes a 7 in inflection and an 8 in extension, he'll put a 1 millimeter shim on top. So if he likes an 8 inflection and extension, we'll put an 8 millimeter shim on the bottom, which corrects your flexion and extension.
Hey, Corey, you put the shim in the femoral part, the little smaller?
Yeah.
So we do almond.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll do that in a minute. Yeah, we're good. And so he does a distal femoral cut, and so we'll give him one of these shims with a flat side ruler. Okay, so that's in the tibia. He'll lay this flat on the insert, draw a line down the middle of his femoral condyle. And once he does that, he'll load up a distal or a chamfer cut uni block. Okay, he'll put it on there, and he'll be able to see his lines in these lug holes. I don't know if you can see that. And when he'll line it where he wants his rotation up, and he'll pin it both sides.
And typically, depending on the size of the shim or the insert, if it's a 3/7, normally we start loading with a 2 femur. We always go down a size and let them tell us if they want to go up a size. That's just kind of routine. So that's why we have a 2 femur, because we're going to possibly have a 3 tibia.
Okay. So we've pinned that to the femur. Okay. He'll take the gouge and always goes towards the patella. So he'll knock it in about 4 millimeters. And he'll take this chisel and he'll run it up one side. Okay. And that all that is to cut out for this knot cut on the anterior part. Okay. Pickering will then you saw this first? Drill first. He'll drill with a lug drill. Okay. Through the top and the bottom. Then we'll take the sagittal saw, do your posterior cut and your anterior chamfer, okay? Or your posterior chamfer, I'm sorry. Take 2 threaded headed pins out, your handy threaded headed pin collet, okay? Take all that out of the run. Don't forget to tell him to take his anterior plug out, what he created with a chisel and a gouge.
Yeah. Used in the freezer?
Yep. Or yeah, freer most of the time. And here's your femoral trowel. Make sure it goes on. It has grooves in the back. Make sure it's on there good because they will pop off. He'll knock that on, and then trowel with this. Okay. So the thickness of this is the implant and the insert 7. This is just the with the implant you use this in. But he'll trowel it. If he likes it how it sits, he'll go with that. Okay. From that aspect, yep, you can take the femoral trowel off. Now we're ready to prep our tibia. So we'll grab our red handle, same one we use on the femoral jig, on the femoral cutting block. So we got a size 3. We'll load that up, clip it down, hand it to him. He'll stick it into the anterior part of the tibia to anchor it, maybe knock it down with a mallet. Sometimes he'll check it with a freer on the medial side of it. Then we'll do he'll drill it first, and then we'll take the drill off. Somebody will hold that down, reciprocating blade back and forth to score it. Then we'll go in with this metal back. We always use a metal back unless they ask for all poly tibia. Clean out that gouge, the trough there. And so whatever size we use, say we use say we use a 3 tibia. So this is a metal back. This little trough right here will sit down and the bone will flush. If it's sitting up, you didn't take enough bone. So you got to make sure it's flat. Most of the time they'll use this little measuring guide, tap it down on top. All right, and you're done. Tibia's prepped, fingers prepped, drill point, drill some little holes in the femur and tibia if needed. And then you're ready to implant. You want to go over implanting? I mean, everybody kind of knows how to implant, huh?
You talking about putting the tibia on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't put on new gloves.
Exactly.
Right.
And only mix when he say mix.
Yeah.
And he inject 20 cc's before we mix. A low 40 mix before he mix on the field.
30, right?
Local.
Oh, yeah, that's picking. All right. You want us to pause this while we get ready for another one?
Yeah, can you really pause it?
Okay. We're good then. We
Just
just
keep it
roll on.
rolling, we'll edit
All
as
right.
needed.
You want to talk about it?
So,
Okay.
what we need to do,
Merlin Union? Alright, you know his bearing needs to it. Take a while. You will your system. I'll hold you. Go ahead. So this is Merle, okay? You swooped that, right? You rolled that? Okay, I had that one in mind. So Merle will use this jig here, and he'll use BrainLab, computer-assisted navigation. 2 tibial pins with a T. Click most time one time towards the non-operative side, and the Y you can always leave it straight. He'll use a Y with 2 4mm pins. Put that in. He'll get the center of the hip, get his points, and then we'll put this jig on for his unit. It also is a 3-piece jig. It's going to come in 3 pieces in the bottom of the uni pan. So we'll slide this on. You said that on 0, you put it all the way down. So we'll set it all the way down to 0, tighten it down, drop the tibial cut block in, and this also a 2-piece here. You can do it left or right, okay? What he'll do is, this little slot right here, he'll put 1 pin in it. Because 1 pin most time on a uni on these jigs to prevent fracture. So he will do sagittal first. So he does sagittal saw first. Reciprocating saw, he'll do a 1/2 inch curve basket on top of it, grab it and he'll verify with the BrainLab. So we'll got a little foot piece that goes on a 3-prong or either 4-prong verify that we verify the tibial cut with the BrainLab. It'll tell you whether how much slope you got and how much varus valgus you're in. Okay. So when we cut that, his cut's good. We'll go to the distal femur. In the same way as we just went over the Pickering's knee. We'll do the distal femoral cutting guide, put it down because your uni's based off your tibia cut. If your tibia cut's messed up, your whole knee's going to be off. So this has got to go down to the second toe, pull it up into extension. He pins it, 2 pins, cuts it with a sagittal saw, 2 pins out, take this out, and we'll do a runger or a big runger, whatever you prefer to take it out. Size the tibia, so it's a 3, just like we were just doing. We'll check it with a 7, see how much how tight it is. So he likes a 7, so we'll go 7 all the way with this cutting block. You understand what I mean? So most of the time he'll just do a 7 all the way around, so you don't have to worry about shims most of the time. And then we'll do the same thing as far as we don't have all this stuff. So we'll take our shim and we'll set this, insert this into the patient. Put our ruler flat on there, draw our line on the distal femoral, the cut distal femur. Then he'll put this on, get his rotation with the lines through the middle. Is there any of that shim? Okay. Thread a head of pins. Gouge, chisel, and just a whole trial. So he'll drill it with a lug drill, both holes. Sagittal saw. Sometimes he uses these customized femoral trials that don't have these lugs on the back. They actually have holes, which Dr. Allman's femoral trials, and you can actually put in an extension with the shim in and see if you need to move it medial lateral to have more coverage on your pop. So if you have to go a little medial, you go up, sometimes they'll use this little gouge, knock a little piece out, then take this little number here, knock it a little more medial, put it back in extension. It's in right in the middle of this insert here, so they'll drill it there. So that'll, and usually Merle and Allman are the only ones how to do that. So, but so that She's showing you how it sits in the middle where you can move the medial lateral. Trial it. And it can, you can slide it back and forth with those trials we were talking about. With these, you've already bought it once you drill it. Then we go to our tibia. Tibia jig here, to prep it for the implant. We use a size 3, what we like. Put it in there, knock it down with a mallet, check it with a freer on the medial side, go in with a laminar spreader. And see, this laminar spreader here goes in like this, just right here. So this is the medial side of the knee, lateral side. There's holes right here. So go in and put it on the posterior condyle. Lift it up so we can get the saw in here, and I'll hold this steady to keep it from rotating on the tibia. So once that's done, he'll score it, and then come in here with this metal back gouge, clean out that trough, do the size 3 metal back, knock it down in there, hit it with a mallet, then we'll externally rotate the foot and drill this with the tibial loop right here. And it's a smaller one of the two. You can't get these confused. I mean, one's for the femur, one's for the tibia.
And he likes a 2-0 drill bit, not the drill bit that's in the brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he likes a smaller drill bit to make for his cement holes.
And we need to.
All right. I'm gonna take one break. Okay?
Could you make it just a little bit more exciting?
Was that not exciting? I thought I was real chipper about it. You want to sit down too long?
Yeah.
Itching?
Is it no? It's not bad.
You're allergic.
Ow. I've had it a long time.
Oh, it is raised.
It itches like
Wow.
I've had it.
My red did that in my arm and stayed swollen up for like 6 months.
I just started doing it.
What's the motion on that thing?
I did. Put some on.
This is the typical setup for Merlin. The covers, tonsil stacks, bunnies, axle teeth, rear, your dental pits, your carved elevator. He likes a 1/2-inch oxytone. Your little small angle curve correct. We always have our pointed Holmans. It's normally ×2 braids. Laminar spreader. Sometimes you like the laminar spreader to take the meniscus and the extension. And of course your big small runger. I always have a zebra track for his unit. Of course he has a mallet of his own that's brown handle that he likes to use. And of course your pliers for brown. That's the setup typically for Merlin
Wooden handle mount?
on the unit.
You talking about the wooden handle mount?
Yeah, so he normally would
Okay.
have his own mallet.
Right. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
And that's for Merlin unit. So we will set up.
Okay. Okay. Super.
Oh, all right.
What? I'm good. I can't have one.
So that's the setup for almond. Y'all are doing so good. Cora is going to introduce us with the setup for almond. Okay. Woo!
Thank you. Almond setup is pretty similar, except he uses a duckbill Homan to do his retracting on his uni. Skin regs, always a small mallet on a uni. You won't use a big one. Big, small runger, 2 cokers, 2 tonsils. That's pretty much how I was taught. That's my. I have that on every total joint I do. 3/4 column, ruler, Freer, and he'll use a number 10 blade on a long knife handle, take his meniscus, and the extension after he does his distal friendly cut. 2 10 blades here. I always remember when he goes into flexion to have this retractor up there in your hand when he goes into flexion to retract back. And every time he goes into extension, take it out. The duckbill. The duckbill holding. Okay. And he also uses a curved knee retractor when he does his tibia cuts, and most of the time when he does his femur cut. Okay. Just to protect his MCL. But there'll be one person up top in charge of this. If you don't remember this, you will. Yes, mainly you. If you don't remember take this out, he'll let you know to take it out or to put it back in there. Yeah. So, and this is Dr. Allman's tibial jig. So it comes in 3 pieces. Usually put it on about the 2nd notch. Ankle clamp. Your varus valgus knobs here, and then your tibial cutting block. Okay. He also uses a BrainLab computer assisted. He'll have the T array and the Y array in there. He's gotten all his points. We'll hand this to him with a array in this cutting block here. So verifier or array, whichever you prefer. A lot of times I call it array, and everybody's looking around for an array. So it's the verifier. Okay, for the verifier thing. Then he'll get his varus values and his slope. Pin it, and most of the time it's 3rd hole from the top, 1 pin on the tibia. He'll knock it down with a small mallet. And so if you're on the Mevo, always remember when he goes to cut, you got to hold these bottom 2 knobs. Because if not, it'll vibrate loose and go put his slope. It'll change his slope. Okay, or his varus values. So always remember these 2 knobs are for the person on that Mevo. His assistant will hold it down with her hand, and there will be a curved knee and a duckbill helmet right here. So that's how he'll do his tibia cut. He'll do sagittal first, recip. He'll pop it up with a 3/4 inch acetone, grab it with a coker, pull it out, and then we go to the same steps as the was, sizing that tibia. Size is a 3. So he's got a 3/7. He likes to make his, he'll put in the extension and he'll check it. His pre-op, before he makes any cuts, he'll check his extension on the computer. Make sure you tell him to save that on the computer. Then he'll, after he cuts, he'll check it again to see if he's within 3 degrees of correction on the tibia. So he likes, say the 7's a little too loose. So he'll say, give me an 8. He'll put an 8 in. He likes an 8 in extension. He'll put in deflection, put the 3/8 in flexion, and we have these beveled, because if it's real sharp on the edge, like this one here, it'll get caught on the condyle and it won't slide in there very well. And we'll slide this in and make sure you're
Yeah, you're welcome. Happy birthday.
Yeah, send me my hat. You better get them rebel things on there.
So he'll put this in flexion. He'll put the 8 in there, and say he wants it to lift 2 to 3 millimeters or so. You can see the condyle lift up and down. He likes it. So do 8 all the way, and do 1 on top.
With almond, you always want to take out all 4. He wants you to have all 4 out on the Mevo. So whenever you work with him, have all 4, whatever size he measures. If it's a 3, if it's a 2, go ahead and grab out your next 3 or 4 of the same size.
Yeah.
Because when he ready for the 8, sometimes he'll skip an 8. He may say, give me a 9. He ready for it right there. He don't want you to turn around and have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because he gonna always say, I want it right here all the time. Just have them all up here. That's why we have them all out. Because that's how he likes it. That's why they all out.
Yeah, she's right. So he doesn't like to wait, which nobody does. But so he likes the 8 in flexion and extension. So we'll put an 8 shim on the tibial side, and that will make the flexion and extension 8. So from there on out, we'll have the 8mm. We'll leave that on our front Mevo, okay? And we'll just get rid of it. We'll discard the other 3. And when you have 8 on the bottom, whatever's on the bottom is what your insert's going to be, okay? So then once we got the 8 on the bottom, we'll put bend the foot up, down the second toe, 2 pins, then he'll cut it with a sagittal saw, distal femur, okay?
Take it out, cobra, long handle knife.
Meniscus, yeah.
We can take that back. 8. Put it in there.
Take 8, put a freer in there, make sure he likes the overhang on the medial side, because you don't want any overhang because of the MCL. It can rub on that MCL. So he likes 8. He'll put it in the flexion, same thing. So it's based off 90 degrees, put the leg at 90, draw the line up the condyle, and then he uses a different handle. So this is his handle, and it goes in the top right here. Always go one size under, okay, on the femur. So you do a 3, load up a 2. He'll put it on there, look through these holes. He likes it. Thread ahead of pin collet, he'll tell you to pin it. So I always use the bottom button on the drill, System 6, System 7, whatever we have here. Use the bottom button, run it down till that pin about stops, and just barely bump it, just barely touch it. Because if you don't, it'll either break off in there or lose purchase. And if you lose purchase, that's going to rattle around and mess up your cuts. So we did an 8 all the way. Let's say it was a 7 in extension. This is going back using this posterior shim. So say it was a 7, we like to 7 extension. But it's a little loose in flexion. So we'll take this shim right here. If he says on the shim on the femur, so he'll take that and he'll slide in. It's got a little groove. You drop it in one way. There's a 1 through 3 and a 4 through 6. So you drop it in the little groove, you slide it, and what that does is takes, I think, 1.6 millimeters or less off close to your condyle, so actually bring your implant down and make it a little tighter in flexion.
So when do you use the 1 through 3 or 4 through 6? When do you?
Depending on your size you have here. That way you can have a little bit. Depending on what size you have here. So this is a 2, so we use a 1 through 3.
Okay.
So we use a 4 through 6 femur block. We use a 4 through 6, depending on what size.
And it has to fit on here. Be careful because it will come off.
The thing will come off. Make sure when he gets on cutting, takes that off, it's not sitting underneath. Because that thing will rattle off and go to the back of the knee. But once he puts it on there, this is sitting on the posterior condyle, and he pins it. It doesn't matter if it comes off or not because it's already pinned. It's just going to be floating. He can make his cuts. But just make sure you get it back.
And make sure your femur block have the holes in the top in your sets.
That's for this jig here.
Right. You have to have that in order for this handle to fit on. But that's what he prefers.
Yeah.
So if you get a set that doesn't have the femur shut blocks with the holes at the top, you let somebody know.
Yeah.
So he would not use that red handle?
No.
In no other way.
Every blue moon he might use one on lateral because the patella's in the way on the top, but hardly ever. Okay. So we're done with that. Make sure you give him a freer. Pop that anterior little bone piece out. Small runger, he'll take all that out. Then his tiles are the ones that have the holes in them. Move it medial lateral. Hand it to him on this red handle. He'll knock it on. Slide the shim in there, and he'll go into his tension. Look at it. It needs to go a little bit medial. So he'll, yeah. So it's sitting a little bit lateral or so. So he'll take it. He'll knock it a little bit medial. He'll either take a rongeur and chew out a little bit of the medial anterior portion right here, or hit the gouge, knock some of that bone out, move it over, drill it after he looks at it in ascension, make sure it's right in the middle of this poly, and the femur's done.
You take a rongeur and take it off.
Yeah, we'll just stick it in the hole, pull it up. Okay. Then we'll go to the tibia. So we'll do the 3 tibia again. Most of the time he'll just push it in there. He rarely uses them out, but if he has to have it on hand. He'll put the freer down the medial side here, check and make sure there's no overhang on the MCL. Then he'll just put his hand out. Next thing he wants is that lemon spreader, and he wants you to hand it to him right. So hand it to him exactly how he's going to use it. Yeah. So if he's going to use it that way, he wants it just like this, because he'll stand like this, He wants to go like that, because if it's turned around, he's got one hand full, he's trying to turn it around, it'll hit the floor. So make sure that's handed right. He'll put that in, score it with a recip on both sides. Take this metal back gouge, run it down through here. Make sure it's metal back. He'll clean this out, back, forward. Then we'll do the metal back little punch here. 3 is green. Put it in, put the size and hook in the top. He'll want you to hit it with a mallet. Tink, tink, knock it down. Then he'll externally rotate, leaving this in. Okay? Externally rotate the foot, and then run the tibial drill in. As soon as he gets done with that tibial drill, he's ready for a drill point injection, 30 cc's, and he'll inject posterior capsule. Like I said, implant, just don't wear new gloves. That's about the only thing you can. And put it thin enough on the implant. We don't have an implant with us, but there's a, where you drill this and run this trough, there's a little metal lug and then a little metal trough that's shaped right here. Just make sure he can see that from when he puts it in, he can just drop it down and make sure the cement is not balled up on there, it's kind of thin, where he can see what he's doing.
Question.
Yes.
Did you say implanting don't wear new gloves?
No.
Keep the gloves on you?
Well, if you wear new gloves, the cement will be all over you and not on the implant.
Okay.
You can ask
It's
John
more,
about that.
it gets more sticky.
But
So
don't
just keep
use
your regular gloves.
don't use water or synovium fluid. If you've been working with those gloves, your gloves, all the new is worn off. So if you don't put any synovial on your gloves, synovial fluid from the old bone, it'll actually make the cement not stick to the implant, and that'll cause a revision later. So cement technique is pretty important. We got this 10cc syringe. He'll use everybody will use a 10cc slip tip syringe loaded up with about, what,
It's about 8 or 9.
Yeah, 8 or 9 cc's of cement. She has a technique where she uses a tongue blade and puts it over the top. I just rake it out of the bowl, whichever works for y'all. Whichever is easier and faster. Because as soon as that cement starts, the time starts on the clock. So you have 8 minutes of working time with that cement that he uses. And he'll put it in the femoral holes, run it through the trough, put it in the tibial hole, put some on the tongue blade, a little ball on the tongue blade, and he'll run that in the tibial plateau, sweep it out, a little ball of cement put on there, and he'll use this for cementing also. He'll use that in the posterior condyle of the femur to pat the cement back up to make it stick to the posterior part of the femur. Then make sure, like I said, like on your tibia, just make sure you can see the trough and the peg. And he'll actually put it in with his fingers, posterior first, slide it down. And this round part, see it'll rock on the actual implant. He'll start from the posterior, work his cement out the front. Then he'll go in with this actual sizing hook to clean out the posterior part of the tibia. He'll rake it around, get that cement off. And he's just going to use this once. He'll rake that off, and he's ready for the femoral implant. So the femoral implant actually looks like this. So put the cement on in between here, posterior condyles, kind of fill it in, but make sure you can see those lugs so you don't have to put them in those holes that we made. He'll put it on, knock on with a small mallet, take that off. He'll use a freer first, cut around the medial lateral side of the implant, the cement. And then he'll take this dental ball pick. It's got a ball on one end, and he'll grab posterior, medial, and lateral on that femoral implant, all the cement out of there. Once he does that, he'll trial his, we had an 8. He'll trial his 8. We'll use this side to go on the implant. This is actually thinner. This is the implant and the tibial tray and the poly. This is just a poly inside the tibia, so he'll pop it in. Press it out. He'll tell you what he wants. If he wants to go up or down. Usually if he starts with an 8, he'll want to trial a 7 at the end. And once he pulls that out, he'll go with the sizing hook again. Clean out the posterior part of the tibia. Go into, sometimes he'll use this ball, this sharp dental pick and extension. Most of the time he'll pull it in, do an extension and pull up a flexion. Clean off the femur with that. And then have the real implant that, have your drain ready if he wants to drain, and put a bump under the foot, let it dry.
keep your dental and your freer out.
Yeah.
When he has finished putting in the tibia the tibia implant and the femur implant, and when the leg is in extension, you just lay those picks on the Mevo, and
Always
he'll
put 'em on the front of
choose
Mevo.
which one he want to use. You don't have to anticipate which one you think he gonna use, because when he's frustrated, nothing you give him is the one he wanted, so he's still gonna try to choose what he wants. So you just lay it on the Mevo, and he'll choose what he wants.
And put
at
the
that time.
point that he uses the ball and the sharp, so just put those at the end so he can see what he's gonna use.
Right.
He'll grab them. So,
Yeah.
won't be nothing to it. It's a home and uni.
Shelton unit is a little different. He'll use this jig, the same principle as most of them he'll use, but Shelton like smooth pins. He'll put his smooth pin here, and he'll take, do his cut. He'll take it off. He likes this guide to size the tibia. You always want to give it to him on slotted, and you have to make sure it's set on 2. And to do that, you have to turn it sideways and move it in the grooves, like up and down until you can turn it. And when you put it in a slot where it says 2, it's right there in the window, and it's 2. You give it to him that says slotted, and he'll put it in here, and he can move it up and down to see where he wants it. Then he'll take it off, do his cuts, use the oxytone, runger. Sometimes he'll come back with Shelton. If you would just keep the knife and pick up on the Mevo, he'll get it at all times whenever he wants it. Then he'll want the size and hook as well. He'll tell you what he wants. He'll do size hook, which is a 3. We'll do a 3/7. And he'll stick that in. And once he tell you about the 3/7, if it fits well, we'll take it out. And he goes right to the distal cutting block. Shelton, when he uses the distal cutting block, he likes for it to be on his handle. When you give it to him, you stick it in there, give him the alignment rod, he'll put it in there, take it off. And he put the smooth pins in here, take the smooth pins out, do his cuts, take the jig off, and we'll put it here.
Does Shelton use any shims at the bottom?
He typically don't. It just depends on what size he has. Anything that's over 7 and higher, then that's when you get into the sizes of your shim.
Okay.
Anything 700, because this, when they say 7 all the way, you hear the rep say 7 all the way, this is 7 all the way. And once he take the cutting block off, he'll use a ruler, marking pen with the tibia insert, the tibia size and insert. He'll mark it. He'll get his femur, put the handle on the femur. He'll do the threaded headed. He drill his holes. He cut, makes his cuts, take it off.
What's he do with gals and stuff? Same time as everybody else? Okay. Gals and chill.
Yeah, he'll do the gouge and the chisel. And he'll take it off. He goes straight to the tibia neck. The tibia was a 3. A lot of times he'll tell you which one he wants. He'll tell you 3 or 4 or 2.
We can all probably have. Other than the handle.
And he'll put this down on the tibia. Once he put this on the tibia, he go ahead and drill his hole. He drill his hole to stabilize it. Once he drill his hole, he makes his cut. He'll take it off, clean it out with a runger and a freer. come back.
So the metal back is your smaller one, your all poly is your big one. I don't know if you can see that. And this is a all poly. You see how thick that is. So this makes a trough for that. And this is Shelton's, the all poly.
Yeah,
Says right
Shelton
here.
likes the all poly. We'll take it off. On Shelton real implant for the tibia, he likes for you to put a tonsil stat on the end to hold it. You put a tonsil stat on the end to hold it, and you give it to him because it has two little holes at the end. And you give it to him, and you put it on there, but you don't put any cement. You put cement on the back of the poly, and you just give it to him like a big, nice size, and you put it on the tibia. Then he'll go forward with the femur just like the rest of them. He'll put the finger in, he'll tap it on, he'll take this off. If he need an impact, he'll come back with the impactor, tap it on, take it off. He'll use a freer to clean it off. And that's Shelton. The Shelton setup. I always want 2 freers.
Look at that pants.
This is Shelton setup. 2 10 blades, bunnies, aspen teeth, pokers, tonsil stats, rakes, right angle retractor, Z retractor, ruler, hook, 2 freers, large, small rondure, small mallet. And this is Pickering set up, Shelton set up for a unit.
Total? Yeah, I none of that. I don't do anything else. These on it. Who? Oh, well, some of them use different implants. Some of them use radiation. But I don't ever work on things. Yeah, no, yeah. Go. You're still at home with me. That's just you. Hey, do you want to do a total knee with each doctor or just?
Just gonna do arm, and that's gonna be it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. You want to balance some blocks?
Keisha, you have to pick up now.
Yeah, what time?
It's 5:05. 5:05.
What time you gotta get them?
I got about 10 minutes and I'm out.
Oh, you better go through this knee quick.
Yeah. You can do it. I gotta go.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Keisha.
Thanks for staying
Yeah.
for our show. Hey, you got 10 minutes for me to do something real quick? I just gotta get a copy of something. I'll be right back. Thanks, Dude.
some lobsters? The one you told me to open up already? Yeah. Okay, but we can do order here on that.
Let me have them UV sets right here.
All right. Is it gonna put on top of the unit set?
Y'all done?
No, I was just in the midst of waiting, I was just trying to.
Wanna clean up some of that? What was your minute? Huh? Perfect. That's great. That's a picker? It looks like a, this is all I'm telling you that.
Yep. Paying attention. Matrix, it is my first total today.
You did? How did that?
That's fine.
The paper is like all.
I've been missing it. You just don't have to, we don't have a PS.
You want to go ahead and use that? You ready, Keisha? All right. I'm Let it get out of your way so you can take off. Sorry, I wasn't really sure what you're doing.
This is basically the setup for almond total need. You need a small and large mallet, small and large rongeur, pliers, your I-band, stockinette, co-band, marking pen, all on this Mevo to start. You have your 2 rates, your lateral retractor, retractor, curve holder, flat holder. One is curved, one is flat. Sometimes he used to use this pointed Holman, but you just have it available because he has started to use just a lateral retractor or a PCL retractor in place of that. He likes this big lane holder, bone hook, 1.5 inch oxytone, 3/4 curved oxytone, and your 1/4 inch straight oxytone. Your curved curette, your large Holman, cokers, tonsil stats, 2 tile clips, bunnies, accent with teeth, Mevo scissors, your Freer and dental picks. Long knife handle, 2 short knife handles. That's the Mevo setup for almond total need. And of course, these are the balancing blocks. We'll explain to you later, but they come in 2 pieces, but they have 2 parts that goes with it. Typically, if it's a female, he'll use the small. If it's a size smaller than a 4, he use the smaller balancing block. If it's a size 4 or larger, he likes the larger balancing block. So to assemble the handle, drop this handle with the little notch guide inside and let it attach to the center. It has to meet together line to line or end to end. It cannot be like this. It's uneven. It has to be lined up together, which means you have to adjust the 2 pieces until you can get them to match together. And this, the balancing block has a little hole in it to where you insert the handle. He always liked the handle loaded to the right. No matter if he's doing a left or right side of knee, he wanted to always handle it to the right because he's going to put it in with his right hand. And the way to know that you got it on correctly, the springs is easily to spring up and down. Now if you have it on wrong, incorrectly, and you try to assemble it, it's not, the springs are not even, so it's not gonna work correctly. So that's the balancing block. And this is pretty much his setup for the total knee, with the exception of the brain lab, the tibia, the femur. He typically, after he gets all his points with the brain lab, he'll start with the tibia. He does the tibia first, cut the tibia. Of course, you'll put your verifier on the tibia. If it's left or right, you need the whatever side. Then with the operative side we're working on, that's the size tibia jig that we need. And he'll pin it with 2 drill bit pins and then holes. Then he'll take the verifier off once he got his alignment where he wants it. He'll make his cut. Once he make his cut, he'll take a large oxytone, go up under it, take this lane bone holding clamp it. You want to give it to him with the handle out. He'll clamp, he'll grab with the bone, close it, tighten it up so he can grip it. Then he'll take a long knife handle, a 10 blade on it, and he'll cut it off all the way around. Then he'll take that off, take everything out. He'll put it in his stitching. He'll verify his cut. Once the verified cut is correct how he wants it, then he'll use the balancing block. You're given the balancing block, right, loaded right-handed, which is the right side. You put it in the knee. Sometimes the person, the scrub tech on the Mevo may have to pull the leg so he can insert it until in the gap for the tibia. Then he'll take the handle off. Sometimes he'll use a small mallet if it's sticking up just to tap it down. And once he do that, he'll take his points again with the balancing. He'll flex the knee up, get his points, his alignment, extend it out, take it. Keep your handle available on your front Mevo, but lately he's been using small runger to grasp it to take the balancing block off. Once he take that off, he'll put in his extension. He'll put the verify on the femur. Put your verify on the femur. He'll get his points, drill bits, take the blade, does his cuts. Once he does his cuts, take it off, give him the verify back, he measures. You want a cob to hold it down. The assistant normally has the cob to hold it down for him. And we are missing the curve knee. He likes the curve knee on every procedure he does for a knee. He'll take the block off, he'll have the runger. He'll look at the computer and he pretty much size according to what the computer say the size should be. So if the computer say a 5, we'll give him a 5. You'll put the little
training wheel.
You put the postage turning wheel in with the verify on the distal. Is it distal finger? On the distal finger. With the verify in it.
In the top.
At the top. Once he get his points, he look at it. A lot of times he gonna be, still up top on the patient. Like this, the knee, he's still gonna be up top, so he gonna position it because he's trying to look at the computer to make sure he got it where he wants it before either the scrub tech or his assistant put in the threaded headed pins. And once he give you the go, he'll say okay, because he got it where he wants it. You put in the threaded headed pins. He'll take the verify off. He'll walk back down to the end of the table, to the end of the leg or the femur, to the end of the tibia, and start doing his cuts. To do his cuts, take off the threaded headed pins, take the block off. He likes posterior stabilizer blocks, which we don't have right now, but it's a black little block, and you'll be able to tell the difference. And if this a 5, the 5 should be the same size as the posterior stabilizer block. He'll put that block on, and he'll pin it on the front and on the back side. You will switch blades. You give him the regular saw blade, which is a wide fan blade, or wide blade rather. He'll do his cuts down the side of the cutting block, of the box cut itself. Then he'll take that off. The scrub tech will take that off, put it on the smaller blade. He'll do his cuts, take that off. Once he take that off, sometimes he'll go to this, or sometimes he'll use the bone hook, pull back on the femur. Then he want a Coker long handle knife for the meniscus. Once he take the meniscus Coker long handle knife, he'll take that block off, take the pins out, the drill bits, take the block off, then he'll go back in with that sulcus cut, or the sizing for the sulcus. And he'll put the bone hook in, lift it up, use the 3/4 inch osteotome if it's something on the femoral condyle on the back, and he'll mallet up under there. And then once he mallet, if it's something there, he'll take a curve, correct, to bring out the bone. Once you take the curve, bring out the bone, he may or may not, inter switch between the large runger or not. Take it off. Once he do that, he'll take the bone hook, the block off, and then we'll go ahead and give him the tibia. The curve Holman. He'll put the tibia on. I give him the same tibia size as my femur. If it's a 5, I give him a 5. If you wanna go up a size, let them tell you go up a size. So at the 5, put the 5, 5 tibia
5 tibia base plate on the
base plate on the tibia. And then,
along there.
yeah. If he like it, he'll put the little towel on, knock it down. Well, really, sometimes he'll put the towel on and you knock it down with the big mallet. And he'll go in, make sure, you wanna make sure the sizes of, what it on?
Yeah, stop it.
The size of the stoppers has to match the size of the tibia base plate. If it's a 5, then you need to make sure it accommodate a 5. If it's a 6, you need to make sure the sizes accommodate a 6. Because that determines where they stop and how it fit. You put that onto the drill bit. And here a ring. You go down. You go all the way down. And take it off. Then he'll come back.
5:30 you need to get?
Oh, yes.
Alright.
And Corey gonna finish.
Alright, so he'll take this. That will be a system. Alright, and he'll do. Alright, so he'll take this and so anything red on the attune, do not touch. Because everything will fall off. That's called an actuator. Red is for action, okay? He'll take this, knock it down to the tibia. You gotta hold it tight. And when he's done, it'll stay in the tibia. That way he can trial off of that. And he'll actually put his, which he used PS, so this will have a box on it. He'll put this on. He'll have the femur on. So he'll knock the femur on, the femoral impactor. This notch right here down. He'll put it right there, knock it down. Knock the femur down, complete that. So the femur's on, the tibia's in. He'll take his,
Yeah, perfect.
so he'll take his flat duckbill, put the posterior part, and he'll bring his femur, he'll put his femur posterior of the tibia. That way he can put his insert on. And when he does, he'll take it like this, pry up that femur, he'll bring it back, and he'll go into extension and check, make sure his balance on the knee is good. So after that, he'll take everything out. He'll take this out here with a, this is just an example. He'll take a 1/4 inch acetone, pry it up, get over there and pop it up. Don't put your hands there, because it'll go through your hand. So we'll take the tibia out and put his handle back on here, pull the punch out, small drill point, drill everything, go to extension. Two towel clips, we'll do the patella. They'll put it on either side of the patella, evert the patella. Big saw blade, and take off whatever needs to take off on the patella. And then he'll size accordingly. So we have 32 out. So this just slide on here just like this. So 32, you hand it to him. He puts that down, and he will let either his assistant or you drill it. You use the same low drill as you do for the femur. You see it? So it has a stopper on it. Drill all 3 holes, and as he's holding this locked down onto the tibia on the patella, he'll bovie around the patella, which is the lateral side, and he'll take a rongeur, chew off any osteophytes that may be in the way. He'll unload this, be done with this, and he will inject and clean up the posterior part of the capsule of the knee. And when he's done with that, he'll tell you to mix. And as soon as you mix, go ahead and get everything on the implants. And 2, we call them snakes, so about that long, about as big around your finger. Have 2 of those on your Mevo. One he'll use for the tibia, stuff down to the canal, and onto the plateau. On the femur, he'll do posterior condyles, and distal condyles, and anterior. And then you put it on your implant, cover the whole implant except for the cone on the actual implant, which is this part of the tibia. But you cover the whole base plate of the tibia and everything on the femur but the box. So you'll cover posterior, distal, and anterior. Just don't cover the box. And when he implants, he'll hit the tibia twice. He'll hit it once, go in there, clean it up with a freer, pick up to the assistant, hit it again, clean it up again, then he's ready to do his femur. He'll You don't have to say it. You don't want to. Yeah. So, and he uses RP, which is right here, rotating platform. It has a little nipple on there.
Can you connect it together so people see it?
So this right here, red actuator, don't hit that. A lot of people tend to, when they go to pass to them, do like this, and it falls right off. So just make sure you just click it on there, and you grab it by the end of it like this, pass it to him. That way if he grabs it and it comes off, it's on him. But it's not on you if you have it like this, okay? He'll take the tibia twice, clean it off. Femur, he'll take the snake, run it over the femur, dab it off of the lap. So when he puts his femur on, he always wants this part down first. He'll knock it anterior, he'll flip it over and finish impacting the femur with the this part here. He'll clean it up with a freer and just make sure you remind him. I mean, most of the time he gets the posterior condyles cement because the cement will sneak out posterior of the femur. Make sure you remind him to clean that out with either a freer or the dental ball, which we've used on the unis already. And then we'll go to insert. So anytime he wants to put an insert in, we're going to use this flat duck bill, okay? Retract the tibia back to get the femur out of the way so the tibia is sitting up. Put the real insert, whatever size insert he wants, put the real insert in there, put it back, lift up the femur, he'll drop this, help him put it into extension. And he'll put it, sometimes he'll press it out a little bit, go up, maybe check it, see if cement's come out anywhere. Clean that up, make sure he cleans the box out. Cement will build up in that box. Then we'll go to the patella. A small little dollop of cement. Just leave it on your Mevo for him to press onto the patella. Put enough on the patella where you can still see the lugs. If you can't see the lugs, you can't find the hole. So I mean, just put a thin layer to where the lugs are showing pretty good. He'll put it on, and this is these are pretty sharp here, so watch your gloves when you go to take them off. Because a lot of times you go to take this off, you pull like this, and it'll catch your knuckle every time right there. So just be mindful of that. So this goes on in the same place that one does. He'll put it on, clamp it down, clean it up with a freer, he'll lock it down, irrigate it. Most time he does a betadine peroxide saline soak. At that time he'll do that for 2 or maybe 3 minutes. And then the drain, of course, medium hammerback. Depending on his approach, he'll do a subvastus or a medial parapatellar. Subvastus, he'll use curved mayos to run up the subvastus. And he'll close a subvastus with a number 1x2. And then a medial parapatellar. If he does a medial parapatellar, make sure you make him mark his capsule with a mark pen before he does it. But at the end of that case, he'll close with a number 2 on the 880x2. Okay. And then your regular skin closure. All right. That should be it, huh? Any questions?
So I'm not doing it earlier. Check it out and do another day.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go over or that's up to you. Usually in main one. Good. If you want to go over, we can. All right. So,
You need to turn this off?
okay.
I'm gonna go get my room.
So Merle, the only thing different on his totals will be his retractors. So he'll use 2 spike hoses. No, we good. 2 2. Should be it, huh?
All right.
We done? We did, we're just gonna go over Merle, but, I mean, if you wanna record, you can, if not, we can go over.
Yeah, no. I'll record it, yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna do this is Merle?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over Merle real quick.
No, it's really good, and then we can take the video,
Yeah,
edit
you
as
can always
needed,
tweak it or
and
whatever, yeah.
absolutely.
We don't need to do that. So Merle, he'll use lemon spreader. This is different stuff from Merle. He'll use a wooden handle out. pituitary, 3 different. He'll use a half-inch curved acetone. Won't need scissors. Let's see. Need this. So his setup pretty much. I use 2 spiked hummus on his Mevo. Use 1 lateral, 1 for the PCL, and I usually use a skin rake on the other side. He'll use the sizing guide for the attune, pituitary, lamina spreader to take his meniscus, big cob, and he does CR fixed bearing. So, whereas he'll cut the distal femur first, use distal femur cutting jig, got his computer in, got all his points. He'll put this on to where he's taking around 7 or so distal femur, get his flexion and everything, pin it, take his distal femur cut, verify, looks good, okay? So then he'll take his distal femoral sizing guide. And it's usually set on 3, but it's set on 3 degree left here. See it? And he'll put this posterior condyles to go anterior, and he pins posterior. So give him 2 drill bit pins. He'll pin these right here. Size it. All right, I want a 5. So we got a 5 out. So you're done with that. So what he does is he'll take this. It's got 2 little slots right here that go into the middle hole right here. He'll take it, slide it down, distal femur, pin it, cut it. Sometimes he'll cut it first, just to the anterior, make sure he's not going to notch.
You pin with threaded headed pins?
Yes, pin the threaded headed right here. And most of the time he will cut the anterior portion first to make sure he's not going to notch. Okay? Because posterior reference is all anterior reference is all posterior. So if he's good anterior, he doesn't need to go down or up on the little holes here. These are 1.5 millimeters each. If you don't need to go down or up, you can just pin it, cut it. He doesn't use this capture here. He just cuts off the bottom with his blade. So he'll cut that, take it off, and he does a CR, which you're going to need the sulcus. The sulcus is actually right here, this little piece. It's making a deeper groove for the patella. So he'll actually pin this with 2 small pins, that's right. 2 small threaded pins, do his sulcus cut, and he'll put his bone hook in the posterior while this is on, lift it up, posterior, clean up the posterior condyle. And
You said clean out, what did he clean it out with?
he usually uses pituitary, so he doesn't usually use curette. He'll just go in there and grab it with it. Okay. Sometimes he uses a roundger, he'll let you know what he wants. Then he'll go to extension, lamina spreader on one side, rake on the other, pick up the bovie, take out the meniscus on the medial on the other. Then he'll just flip it over, do lateral, flip it over, do medial. Okay? Depending on which side he starts on first. And then he'll do what we call a dog bone here. I think he still does this.
They go out with that, he start off with the patella first.
He sure does. He starts with patella first, which
I know.
no, you're good. So on the patella, he'll do patella first, like Youngblood said. He'll use 2 towel clips. He'll rub the patella, take it and put a patella protector on the patella and continue out through the cage, start with femur first. So this is a CR flexion, CR extension. On the back side of this, all you really want to do is put a 5mm shim, and this line will line up with that. So 5mm shim on both sides. And this is so he can check his flexion and extension with the dog bone. He'll check extension, put it on flexion, check it, make sure there's no give, pretty tight all the way around. And then we'll continue on his side. Let's do the tibia. So we'll go do the tibia. He does fixed bearing. So we'll He has to get this just right on the tibia. He lines it up, tower, mallet, he'll ream it, then he will do the punch, okay? He will do the punch, he'll drop in there and hit it, so that locks in place. And he'll try it. He'll put a insert in. Put an insert in here. So this is fixed bearing, it will not spin. Then he'll put the finger on, knock it down, he'll check it, make sure he likes everything. He'll go into flexion. A lot of times you'll see him go into flexion. Sorry, hold this on here. He'll take a cob, he'll go posterior. Check it, check the lift on the femur. Use it. Check the lift on the femur with a big cob. And then he'll lug drill it, take it off. So you're done with all your cut, patellas, ready to cement. Same thing as on in the end, just no new gloves on the cement. Can't stress that enough, you'll find out why if you do it. But I think anything else. He injects with a 22 gauge, 40 to 60 cc's.
And he injects before submitted, right?
That's right. So he can get to the posterior capsule. Anything else you need?
No, man, not right now, man.
Okay.
Not right now. But yeah, I know it's been a while since you did the shifts. So.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done any joints.
Yeah, so that's always good, man. And then you said another day I'm gonna do the hips, huh?
Yeah, hips on another day. So you got all your knees right here. If you throw a hip in here, it's gonna
Yeah, it'll be a lot.
And even throwing all these knees in here is a little confusing too.
Yeah, the pluses and later in the day and everything. Yeah.
No, I mean, we'll do one more. Maybe that'll help out.
I can't really see the video. Cause that's right there what I needed.
That's like a 4-hour video.
I said, that's right there what I needed. You know, like how you kept saying, write it down step by step.
Yeah.
You did right there better. So
Well, she told me to write it out. Man, I ain't had time to do shit.
yeah, I know. I told you a while ago to write it out.
Yeah, I ain't had time to do nothing. That's my bad.
No, you got your own life, man, with your daughter and everything.
Yeah.
Then son, you got your own life, man.
Hey, if you want to work on the total stuff, I'll work on the uni stuff, or whichever one you want to do. All right. Hey, we're done, man. If you want to cut.
You ain't cut it? You don't want to do it? Let me see a dance move.
Whoa,
Young blood, come on, let's see it.
Oh no.
Those can help me on film, I promise.